So I'm at school. Basically, in at my school you have the school and then you can go outside. Then basically you have this corner where there's no cameras, there's no people there, there's no like teachers and all that stuff. So I'm walking there because that's the place that I usually hang out with my friends. I see this little guy that's like 2 years below me, and he's coming up to me and he says like, bro, like what's your problem? And uh I don't know, like I saw him before, and before that he was always like, I don't know, he was just trying to seek beef with everybody, right? So this time, he actually tried to seek beef with me before, and I was like, I'm not really going to to seek beef with a guy that's like 2 years below me, right? So then he he comes up to me again, and I know like, all right, this guy he wants to get some beef, right? But I don't know. I'm like very chill as well, so I'm like, all right, who the fuck is this guy? He comes up to me and he starts talking shit to me, and I don't know. I just can't help myself but talk a little bit of shit back to him as well. Like I don't know what I said to him, but I just said like, bro, you're such a young guy. Like what are you, like, who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to flex on and all that stuff? Then at some point he just slaps me in the face, and that's the point that I'm like, all right, fuck you. Now I'm going to fuck you up as well. So I actually slap him back in the face. I grab his hand. So basically, he stood like towards me. I grab his hand, but this was in a very fast movement, right? And I put it on his arm like this. And I don't know, bro. If you try to put your hand like that, right? Um, it I don't know if you've ever gotten in that situation before, but it is kind of it hurts your shoulder. It's kind of stretches your shoulder. So I don't know. I've just slapped the guy. Then I grabbed his hand like that, and he can't do anything anymore. Um, I'm just standing there. I'm like, bro, what are you trying to do right now? So he's just he actually starts crying right now. He started saying like, "Oh, bro, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I would never do this again." Blah blah. But he was like, this was like wannabe driller basically. So he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to be gangster, but I'm not really gangster." Um, Basically, I found like I was like, I got this thought in my mind of like, yeah, all right, what the fuck? Like adrenaline is still rushing through my body, right? Because I'm kind of getting into a fight, so I'm like, adrenaline is rushing and rushing and rushing. Um, then I'm thinking like, wait, why the fuck am I even trying to cause a fight with a guy that's like 2 years younger than me? So as I'm standing there, he literally starts crying like, "Bro, I would never do this again," and all that stuff. And I just let him go. I'm like, "All right, just go away, move out of my face," and I don't really mind anymore. Um, his friends were actually around him as well. My friends were around me as well. So he starts walking to his friends. His friends were like 2 meters away. Um, he just literally starts crying, like literally tears out of his eyes, like, oh. And it was so funny. What he said to me is like, "I'm going to send guys to your house," or some shit like that, or "I'm going to send guys towards you," or I don't know, some shit like that, right? I just couldn't stop laughing, like, bro, like you're a wannabe driller that's trying to send people to my house, and you don't even have like that friends. But anyways, this is like, I think over a year ago right now. Um, to be honest, when I look back at the situation, I'm kind of proud that I hit the guy. I know you might be saying like, "Oh, but he was 2 years younger than you," and all that stuff. But the thing is, like, yes, he might be 2 years younger than me. But first of all, he hit me first. I didn't hit him. But second of all, is like, he would, like, we had breaks, right? And he would literally come up to me like every single break trying to cause a fight, and I always tried to kind of like downplay it. And then I actually got into a fight with him like once, and it wasn't like a big fight or some shit. There wasn't like blood or anything like that. But yeah, man, I actually kind of fought him for once, and then I never saw him again. Like, of course, like I still saw him in like the breaks, but he never came up to me. He never. He was literally scared to seek eye contact with me and all that stuff. And you might say like, oh, that's kind of weird or kind of crazy that you do this to a guy that was like 2 years younger than you. But why, like, he's causing a fight with me, bro. Of course, maybe I shouldn't have said things back to him as well. But like, when you're insulting me, like, why? How can you expect me not to insult you back? Now, when you hit me, how can you not expect me to hit you back? Isn't that like logic? Um, yeah, man. Like, I was still like very unaggressive, right? I think that when he would. I think one day in his life he will actually do this exact same thing. Maybe he learned from experience, and then I actually hope he learned from experience, because I didn't hate the guy or some shit like that. I just think it was a stupid decision, but I didn't really hate him. But I think one day he will just come up against a guy that's like very big and that's like that doesn't have a stop, and then like he might break something or some shit like that. So yeah, man, I don't know. That was that was my. I think you could call it a fight. It wasn't really my first fight ever, because I also had like fights when I was like 10 years old, right? But I don't really count that shit. And yeah, man, that's basically what happened. Moral of the story: never try and cause a fight, but always be ready to fight, because you never know what could happen, right? So I hope that you found this story a little bit entertaining. Maybe you found some value in this as well. And I'll see you in the next video right now.